Hey, good afternoon, Wes. What's going on, brother?
Well, I'll tell you, I started the day off with a confusion. I didn't even tell you this offline, but we have our infamous rack and stacks that we do, and I thought that today was one of them with three guests. It's tomorrow that we're doing three guests. So I sat here at 1 o'clock and was like, "Wow, everybody's late," and very late, and then super late. And then I thought, I better check that again. And you know what? It's not today, but today we've got somebody who, much like the products they sell, are very sharp, and
Yep.
we'll be getting to them here soon. But how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It was funny. I was on a couple of Zoom calls and working on some things, and if I don't set alarms in my phone, I was literally jumped on, as you noticed, late for me. Usually I'm on 15 minutes,
You
prior
are.
to, and I was pushing. I'm looking at my watch, going, okay, I'm like 4 minutes from needing to get on here. So it happens, but we're gonna have an interesting conversation today. It's a guy that I've met on social, and we talk about this a lot. The fun of meeting people that you meet on social, and then you finally get to meet them in person. And this guy's pretty cutting edge. What do you think about that?
I see what you did there. Huh?
Boom! Was that good or what?
That was
But
great.
he's pretty cutting edge. But I met him, on social, and then we met up last. Well, I don't know why evergreen this thing, but a week or so ago at the construction roll forming show by our great friends at Shield Wall Media in Dayton, Ohio, and he was there with his products that we'll talk about. And it was just great to finally, as we know, meet up with somebody that you got to know on social and actually meet them in person. And through the world of the internet, here we are going to talk to him today. I mean, almost, I don't think it gets any better, does it?
It doesn't get any better than that. And unlike, roofing products and poles and, post protectors and all the different things that you bring on the show and friends of the show, I've actually used knives, as you can probably look at me and tell. So this is
No.
I've actually used the product. So I'm on the edge.
You've used them to spear food off my plate at dinner before, as a matter of fact.
Occasional food stealer.
Well, it was a knife too, which would have really hurt. I mean, it was like,
Right.
But anyways, we've talked about that. And I think we're just gonna have a great conversation about it. It's a little out of the realm of what we talk about sometimes, but I think it fits very well. Besides, that's our show. So if you don't like it, I don't know, that's what we're doing, right? There we are.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we just get to them and quit jibber jabbering?
We could do that. I think that's a great point. Let's go. He probably fell on his knife. He didn't fall on the sword. He fell on the knife.
He's in a sugar coma from eating all the M&Ms in the green room. So.
Exactly. They're all green ones, so that's okay.
All right.
All right, bye. Man, look at this dude. What's up, Case?
How's it going, Randy?
It's going well. It's going well. You may have noticed already, but being on pre-show, but Wes and I are the only two people in the world that actually find each other quite humorous.
You guys definitely crack some jokes. I like it.
Yeah, well, none of them are funny to anybody but ourselves, but that's okay. With a couple Dr. Peppers and a quesadilla, we're pretty humorous. So, anyways, welcome to Building Wins, man.
Thank you for having me, my friend.
Oh, it's my pleasure. As I did mention earlier, and that's one of the funnest things that I get to do with some of these crazy other things I do besides run my rep agency is to meet up with people that I've networked with, on social media. And I love the hybriding aspect, right, of meeting them in public, and I'll go out of my way sometimes to do that if I'm in an area, just because I enjoy people, and it's great to meet new people, and you're one of them. And it was really a pleasure to meet you at Dayton. And so before we get too far in, your cutting edge Case as you go by.
Yep.
So for anybody that's like sitting here just tuning in at this very moment, what in the world does that mean? Who are you? What's that mean? What do you do? Give us the who, what, where, why, and when.
Yep. So my first name is Case. My last name's Kunick. And Cutting Edge, the reason why I go by Cutting Edge is our products not only have been on the History Channel as one of the world's sharpest, but just the way we market them strategically as high-end business gifts. for like appreciation gifts, things like that. I believe it is on the cutting edge. It's the best way to deepen relationships naturally. And so that's where I came up with the name of Cutting Edge Case.
I love it. I love it. So you're more than just peddling knives, right? I mean, there's a whole lot more to that. That just happens to be the tool, because in my mind, you're peddling's a bad word probably, but you're peddling the relationship building and the memory building that customers have with their customers, and it happens to be an incredibly high quality knife sets that you're using. Would that be an accurate statement?
100%, yes, sir. It's the long-term benefit of a product. Like I always tell people, like when my wife and I got married, we got 2 physical gifts. One was like a wooden box that was created by her uncle, and the other one was a Bible from my uncle. But like we remember the physical, tangible gifts we got from that wedding. All the Amazon gift cards, all the cash, we don't. There's no relationship. There's no memory with that. But like when you give somebody something physical and tangible, they will remember it for life. So that's the concept with our products is when you give them something like a Cutco product that's engraved, they're going to remember that and they're going to have it for the rest of their life.
Exactly. Well, and that's interesting because you're right. Every single time they're at the grill or at the stove in the kitchen, they're going to think of you, whoever you happens to be, right? And that's a beautiful thing, because I hadn't thought of it that way. But thanks for the 50, and you appreciated it. But 10 years from now, if you said, who gave me a $50 bill at my wedding, you're never going to remember, right?
Yep, that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of business owners will give out $50 or $100. They'll give like referral bonuses, or they'll give employee cash for like a holiday bonus. But in my opinion, that's just an expense. It goes out the window and it's long forgotten. It's here today and then gone tomorrow. But when you do something long lasting, they'll have it and they'll always remember it every time they use it, whether it's 200 to 300 times per year in the kitchen.
Gotcha. So you're in Erie, PA. We talked about that earlier, the snow capital of the world, it seems like, but at least we shared a story which we want, but I spent a long night in Erie off the freeway in a hotel, luckily, but you had a lot of snow in that area. But so you're from Erie, PA. Is that, give us a little background. Is that where you grew up? What brought you to Erie? And then maybe more so before we really get into the value of doing this, what's your background, Case?
So I have one of the most unique backgrounds out there. So I grew up in a small town called Centerville, Pennsylvania, where there's more cows than people. And I grew up actually in the back of a milk truck most of my life. So my dad used to haul canned milk for the Amish community. And he would haul canned milk out to Middlefield, Ohio. And so all of my life growing up until about 13, 14, that was the beginning of my childhood and my work ethic, which explaining that to friends in college or explaining that to friends in high school, no one understood, picking up 80 to 100 pound milk cans and hauling out cans of milk to a cheese plant. So that's very unique. And then when a lot of individuals switched to the lumber industry, my dad got involved in that, which is more known, of hauling lumber and wood to different locations. And so the rest of my work experience was helping out him before I then went off to college and things like that. So again, Centerville, Pennsylvania, which is near Titusville, PA. And now I married my wife here, and I now live in Erie since 2015.
Oh, nice. I happen to have a long memory of the milk cans you used to pick up, because I grew up on a farm, and I'm relatively older than you, and we don't need to talk about that any further. But and my dad milked some dairy cows, and we would dump the milk in the milking machine in those cans, set them in a cooler.
Yep. And
then guys like you would come pick them up out of the cooler and put them in the truck and haul them away, right? Well, I remember one time, and our barn was not. It would have been condemned in today's world, right? It was not up to any standards, but that was the day. But I remember standing there in the ice cold, not ice cold, but cold water in the cooler. And I said to my dad, I was probably like 6 or 7. I says, "This is really weird. It's like this tingly feel. It's really weird." And he grabs my hand. I says, "What are you doing?" He says, "You're getting shocked." He said, "We got some kind of electrical problem. I'm getting this minor low level shock from the water." So I'm like, lucky I lived through that one. But so yeah, I remember those days when you say the milk can. Most people think that those are just decorations that you put out on Halloween or Christmas or Thanksgiving, right? But I dumped a lot of milk out of the milk machines into those cans in my young life. So it's a great way to grow up, man. Great way.
So it's very unique for sure.
It is. It is. So you went to college, and now you took the route you're in now. So I'm really curious, before we get into really the nuts and bolts of what you do and how it works and what experiences you've had with it. What led you to Cutco? I mean, how did you get into the knife business?
So during college, the company will recruit college students to build up their communication skills and also their business skills. And so they'll reach out to different colleges and have campus tables, or when they have a college student that's working for them, they'll ask them for warm referrals to introduce and connect. And so one of my friends that was going to school with me at Allegheny College in Meadville, PA, had done this for a previous summer down in Pittsburgh. He shared with me his experience. That summer, I decided to check it out because I was going to school for environmental science, which, because I always liked the outdoors. I thought I'd be doing something in forestry or stream ecology, or potentially running, something with lumber, because that's what I grew up, with seeing what my dad was doing. And then my friend introduced me to this position. I remember going in for the interview to just check it out up here in Erie, PA. And we had just learned about, in environmental science class, we just learned about products that are cyclical versus linear, and how everything we buy out there is meant, people just order it. They have to use and mine all the materials. Then it gets destroyed and then just thrown in a dumpster, and then it goes in a landfill. However, I like the concept of something cyclical where it just lasts forever and goes on and on and on. And so when I interviewed with Cutco, I understood that concept, because all of our products have a forever warranty, which means it is the last can opener, last pocket knife, or last hunting knife or kitchen knife that someone will ever own. And so I like the idea of, like, the grandmother passing it down to the granddaughter, and then that granddaughter passing it down to her granddaughter, and it'll just last in people's homes for the next 30, 40, 50, 70 plus years. So it really hit home to that environmental science side of things, where I was like, cool. So when people buy these knives, they're buying them once and they're having them truly for life. And that was the concept that I liked. I really connected with that. And then also, I just knew that a lot of people in my hometown, a lot of them hunt, a lot of them fish, a lot of them grill, and it's just an everyday thing that many humans do. And so I felt like I could bring this to a lot of families, some of those people at some of those sawmills, and some of those people in those small towns, those farming communities, where you want something of quality, you want to buy it once, and you want it to be useful and it works. So it just saves you time, money, and energy. And that's what I saw in Cutco back in 2010. And I still see that in 2025, representing the product since then.
So you're not a newbie to this. You've been doing this for a day or two.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Hey, when you get as old as I am, I was doing stuff. I'm not saying it was during the dinosaurs, but there were dinosaur tracks still on the sand and the beach. But anyway, another story for another day. So, yep. But you know that we were just together at the construction roll forming show in Dayton, and you said you're going to be at the Post Frame Builder Show in York, PA next year, and who knows, we may see you somewhere else in our travels together. But it was interesting what you just talked about is basically your knife sets, because of the quality, it's a one and done, right? It's a forever set, if that's the right term, and it really fits well with the industries that I serve, because you take the metal roofing industry, that's a lot of how that product's sold too, right? It's choose your color carefully, because it's only last roof you'll buy, right? And I think there's a lot of common sense to the business owner out there, the roofer, the post frame builder, or the supplier, whomever, that wants to give some thoughtful appreciation gifts or whatever the case may be, is it fits the mantra of buy once, buy good, and you're set for life. So I think that's a a kind of a neat concept, and I'm sure you just talked about it, but tell me how that's working in my industry, the industry I live in, because I know we were just together at a show. I feel like the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times before I finally met up with you to shake hands in Dayton, we could literally wave at each other because you're selling another set of knives to somebody. I mean, I felt like I might have to escort you out. You're bringing in so much cash, but.
Yeah, we did very well there, and I was super appreciative of being there. But the reason why it works so well in many industries, but specifically in this industry, is when you build something, or you know, whether it's a metal roof or you're building a building from the ground up, end of the project, a lot of times people want to give some sort of appreciation gift or a, hey, thanks for picking me as your builder, and also referral gifts. There's many times where you meet somebody, maybe it's in real estate or in the chamber, that just keeps referring you business. And there's times where you want to give an appreciation gift to that person. And there's many things you can pick. I always tell people, whatever you're picking, I'm sure people are already happy with because it's free. It didn't cost them anything. And it's just a nice gesture to give them something. However, if you're already spending that money, what I always share with people is you can spend it or reallocate it to something better than what you're currently doing. So whether it's $100, $50, $500, whatever that bonus or that gift is you're giving, a lot of those gifts are here today, gone tomorrow. It's wine and cheese baskets, it's food, it's alcohol, whatever it may be, but it's consumed and then it's forgotten, or it's a physical item, like a painting or a doormat or something. You're giving them something, but it just collects dust and it will most likely end up in a yard sale because you don't know how they want to decorate their home, things like that. But when you give an engraved piece of Cutco, it is extremely useful. I always say since 1949, we've done numerous studies out there, and we found that people still cut food with knives. So we've taken thousands of surveys out there, and people still use knives to cut their everyday meats and their veggies. And so we always say a good kitchen knife is extremely useful for the home. And again, when you give that gift, you're not just trying to give that gift to the guy or the lady. You want to take care of the home. And so when you give them a knife, it's going to wow one of them. One of them's the cook and one of them's the eater. So it's going to benefit both of them. And so that's why we really recommend our engraved kitchen knives as a perfect, easy gift where, again, you're not leaning toward any certain denomination, like certain gender or anything. It's just if they eat food and cook, you should be giving them an engraved Cutco knife, and we can find something in the price point that you're already spending, whether it's $200, $500, $80, where we can find something that is a better return on your investment because we can engrave it, we can personalize it with your company name, your phone number, and logo, and it's just a nice high-end business gift that lasts in their home for the next 30, 40 years. And I tell a lot of business owners, if you're going to be in business long-term, when you engrave it on a Cutco knife, what's funny is at some point in time, you will get business from it instead of an expense, like buying them wine and cheese baskets. That's $100 or $200 that goes right out the window. It's never thought of again. But that $100 or $200 engraved Cutco knife, that can lead to referrals, that can lead to new clients, or just deeper relationships with your current clients.
Yeah, well said. And I love that concept because it sounded like you can find a price range that fits. But even if it's a situation where, let me back up. I think the tendency sometimes when you spend money on gifts that you're going to give away, I think we have to adjust our mindset as the business person that's going to do the giving. Is we should be giving from the heart. We should be giving because we truly are thankful, and we should be giving because there should be some return on investment with that, right? I mean, that's part of the deal. It is business, and why spend $100 that's thrown away and or looks chintzy, I guess, for lack of a better term, or let's say you spend $125 that can last forever, not going to look bad. It's going to celebrate the image that you want to create for your business. And like you said, the real beauty of this that I don't want people to forget or miss is you're right. We give a lot of these things, and they're nice. Thank you for the fruit basket, right? Thank you for what was those cakes grandmas used to always make with all the fruits in it? Fruit cake.
Fruitcake, yep.
Like number one, yuck, but number two, either you eat it or you throw it away. But either way, it's gone probably 20 minutes after you hand it to somebody, one way or the other. And that's what I really like, and I want everybody that's listening or watching to focus on is it goes back to an old axiom, right? You only get one time to make a good first impression, and you can make that impression a lasting one that looks high quality, that matches your business and the way you operate, or you can make thanks for the gift, that was nice, cheesecake was fine, or you can give them something like a Cutco that they look at forever. And I love that concept. I think we get too wrapped up in it's a one-time expense, right? Once you give that to the customer, that doesn't just stop. They may think about you if you give them the fruitcake, even if they love fruitcake. Not sure why you would love fruitcake, but let's just assume you do. And there's one person in America that probably likes it. But if you like fruitcake. Unbelievable. Wes cutting off. He's out of here.
I'm just saying there is one out there.
Okay, I thought maybe it was you, and I was getting a little concerned about you. But nope. You're happy, and gee, thanks, Case, for the fruitcake. Appreciate it. God, that was really nice of Case, wasn't it? Until tomorrow, and then it's all over, right? And that's what I love about this, and I don't think we can bang on this enough, is that next week, next month, next year, 10 years from now, they're still thanking Case for this thing every time they look at that. Every time they happen to look at it and see, from Case, right? They're going, oh man, that was a great guy. You know what? We're thinking about doing a metal roof again on the other home someplace or whatever we're thinking about. Who am I going to call? The guy that gave me this knife, right? It's as simple as that. I mean, it's no more complicated than that at times. Am I wrong, or am I missing something?
No, sir, you're right on par. I mean, the whole goal is they're repetitively seeing it. And the reason why we recommend a knife is it'll be used 200 to 300 times per year in the kitchen. So it's giving you about 200 to 300 impressions where they're seeing it. People pay for impressions on social media and all these different pages, but a lot of those are also here today, gone tomorrow. Like, you have to keep re-advertising, and like Facebook, they keep going away. I always tell people with a Cutco knife, they're going to see it 200 to 300 times per year in the kitchen. And whoever's using it is going to think highly of you, and they're going to just talk positively about you because they're happy with the product that they received from you, whether it was an employee gift or an end of project gift when you got done building their project.
Hey friends, it's Randy here, the owner of Source One Marketing, ibuyfromrandy.com, and I got to tell you, we are proud to sponsor the Building Wins Live podcast and vlogcast. We have 4+ decades in this beautiful industry of supplying materials, supplying services, supplying marketing assistance, and we just are proud to sponsor Building Wins Live and some great guests that we have every single week, many of them from our beloved industry and many of them from outside the industry that still bring some incredible content. So make sure to check us out at ibuyfromrandy.com and let us know what you think about this show. For now, thanks for checking this out. Let's get back to the show. Yeah, I love it. So I know, as I followed you since we've met on social, you're at a lot of the county fairs and those kind of things, selling obviously the one-off to the end user, right? That's part of your business, obviously. But I got to believe a big part of your business is what we're talking about here is that maybe multi-sale opportunity with a business that's going to give out 50 of these to their top 50 customers or whatever the case may be. And I guess my question there is, how does a customer, like it's a builder customer or a supplier customer, what kind of experience have you had with them? I know you had a lot of opportunities to show. We were talking a little bit before we went on to broadcast this. We talked about some of the people you've been talking with and setting up. Give us a couple of good stories, if you could.
For sure. So the one gentleman that I just connected there at the construction roll forming show was Robert Bolin. I think that's how you say his last name, from Ameripac. Him and I just had a conversation this week, but at the event, he had saw and heard some good things about Cutco, had heard of our engraved gifts, so he wanted to stay in touch and reconnect. So this past week, we had like a discovery call where I just try to find out more about the industry, what their specific niche is, because there's different ways to do it. Like I've had automotive companies where they'll write, "We'll keep you rolling for years," and they've engraved it on a pizza cutter. I've heard of companies like they're merging two companies, or two brothers are coming together, and we've sent out engraved ice cream scoops that say, hey, here's the scoop on our company moving forward. So there's different ways to use our product strategically where it's funny, but also it makes sense in the business industry on how to reach out to the clients. But for him, and again, I don't know if his employees are listening, but we just had a conversation where many of his employees have never had Cutco or used Cutco. But based on the way he talked about his organization and how he treats his people like family and how he would do anything for those people, I could tell instantly after our conversation. I was like, hey, I know we had talked about doing things for clients. I was like, what about year one? What about for this Christmas, or, maybe a big anniversary? What if we did engraved gifts for your employees? Because of the way you just spoke about what you would do for your people, and if they don't own any, I was like, it makes sense to take care of your family, your business family first, get them the products, get them using it and loving it. That way, when in year 2 or year 3 or year 5, we do it in your industry, that way your sales guys or your marketing ladies, when people call in and they're like, hey, I got this gift, then they can speak from their own testimony of, oh, I got that, this past Christmas, Robert's so generous. Like, oh my gosh, we love that piece. Like, you're going to love it for da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, because again, helping them have their own experience. Because if none of them have their own experience, it'll mean more to them. Take care of the family, the business family, and then take care of the clients, year 2, year 3, year 4, which he really liked that idea. And so right now we're in the second phase of figuring out what gift, what price point, things like that would be the next step.
That's awesome. And that makes a lot of sense. And you spoke to something there that I hadn't thought about, but it makes a lot of sense, is take care of your business family. Also, maybe first even, because then they're going to become ambassadors. And that's key, right? You want all your people to be an ambassador, a goodwill ambassador, a brand ambassador for your business, right? And because I can see that, hey, just tell Robert thanks for the gift. That was really, really nice. Oh, yeah, I'll tell him. Yeah, you're welcome. Or, oh my God, did you get it? That was the greatest thing ever. I use mine 17 times a week. It's amazing. There's a whole different connection, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So whether it's the sales guys or the installers or the marketing lady, like, they then have their story to enhance the gift. Because again, it's not just getting the gift, it's what other people say about the gift that it really enhances it, takes it to the next level.
Well, it does. And it really expands. That's what I love about this. The more I think about it, I thought about this more than I ever have. And it's really interesting, is the ROI on it is incredible. Because not only is it just there in the kitchen and they're happy, but we all want stuff, whatever investment we make in marketing, advertising, branding. Most of it, as you said, is here today and it's gone tomorrow, right? And especially on consumables, right? I mean, they're gone really, really quick. Even the cool things that we all do, and everybody loves caps, for example. I mean, I've gave away my share of caps. I probably got 100 of them over here to give away, right? But at the same token, that's going to be good until they lose it, they get it damaged, they get too dirty, then they toss it, right? It's not long lasting. And that's, again, you spend, $15 on a good cap, or you spend $50 or $60 on some knife that's going to be there 10 times longer than the cap. So there really is an ROI. And I think, like you said, getting the buy-in from the whole team, I think is huge. So love it. So that was a great story. I remember, so you're going to sell this product through your distributor customers, through your one-off builders that maybe just says, hey, I want to give 10 or 12 of these a year to some of my big buildings, and you sell them to homeowners. I know we got a QR code up there in the corner. You're pretty easy to get a hold of, right?
For sure. Yeah. People can message me via Facebook, which is how we've connected many times. People can reach out to me via email at cuttingedgecase@gmail.com. And my phone number is 814-439-0173. I mean, I take calls from people in all different states, just because we can ship these. We can ship them directly to the business owner that wants to hand them out at a holiday party, or we can drop ship them individually to 50 to 100 clients nationwide, where
Okay.
you don't actually have to, we'll ship you the first one so you can see what they're about to get, but then we'll then ship them out and say, hey, on this day we're dropping them and all 50 of your clients are going to get them, or we can stagger them. There's many ways for us to get the gifts in the hand of the right customers.
That's awesome. That's a nice service there too, because depending on some local builders, they may want to have them, and I think there's certainly a plus to hand delivering that to the homeowner if it's local. But let's face it, you deal with some people we've talked about that deal nationally or in multiple states. Yeah, whether as much as you might want to do that, you're probably not going to drive 350 miles to take a $80 knife, right? Or you're just probably not going to do that. So that
Yep.
and again, that's a cool surprise to get UPS shows up or somebody and you open it up and you got this beautiful knife set or knife or whatever it is. And, I just think it creates another memorable experience. And that's what we're about, because, and the other thing I was thinking about, a case that I love, is that we're all battling in the world of marketing and branding for visibility, right? Where I talk a lot about visibility equals opportunities. It's a word I use a lot, or phrase, I guess, that I use a lot. And in today's world that we all live in, we're doing virtual right now, right? In the virtual social media world, we're on such a swipe left mentality that whatever we did 13 and a half seconds ago as far as a post, they've looked at 714 more posts. You're already gone, right? That's why velocity and volume matters in that world. But I love about this is it takes us back to the old school way, which I like, of there is no velocity and volume here. It's literally, I'm holding something in my hands. It's not going to disappear. And boy, we have a lot of that. I mean, you can have the greatest social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Reels, YouTube, just incredible, 29-second video or a 3.5-minute video. And it's still 8,000 people watch it, but it's also gone tomorrow. Well, it lives on, and I'm not saying there's not some shelf life to that, but it's different than picking up something solid, like you said, every day and using it. So I'm glad we had this conversation today, because I think it's putting some thoughts in my beady little mind. And I hope a lot of the people that are listening or watching will understand there's some better ways we can elevate our game, and that's what this is all about at the end of the day, right?
For sure, 100%.
So what else? What else is going on? Before I got a really funny little 4-letter or 3-letter word to ask you in a minute. But anything else? What else is going on? I mean, besides, let's do the sales pitch. I need the elevator pitch. We're on the 3rd floor, so give me the elevator pitch. Why in the world are we going to do this? Give me the 30-second elevator pitch on this baby.
Well, the biggest thing is just I usually ask people like what they're currently giving out as gifts. And people will share what they're giving out. And then I always will just ask, what was the impact of those? What have you gotten from that gift? And it's usually just, we just give out cash bonuses, or, I don't really know. And I'm like, well, what if we could get you something that would actually make a large impact on your business and on your organization, where it would generate referrals or it would generate, new business. And that's usually where it piques that person's interest. And then mainly just showing them and putting a couple items in their hand of, hey, these are like the top 3 to 5 gifts that we do. Whether it's a pocket knife and they'll have a pocket knife in their pocket for life, or whether it's a kitchen knife and they'll have that kitchen knife. The other thing I always like to share with a business owner is the crazy part is when a knife breaks, which a knife will break or will dull, the service is 100% free. Like, we will replace the knife. We will sharpen that knife for life. But if that knife breaks, we will then re-engrave your company logo on that knife. So it truly is a form of advertising that never goes away.
Wow.
So year 2, year 5, if it breaks and they mail it into Cutco, or they give it to me and I mail it into Cutco and only in New York, they will send it back re-engraved with your company name and logo on it, because you initially paid for that logo. So like those little logos, those little billboards, those little business cards never go away. They're in your community or in your town for the next 30, 40, 50 years. So why wouldn't you want to have your high-end business card in their pocket all year round forever? Or they gave it to their son or daughter that has your business card in their pocket, because eventually that person will retire, or that person will sell their business to a family member, and then they will then have that name and number floating in their pocket. But if you're thinking long term, Cutco is the best long term forever gift that you can give. Engraved long gift.
I just felt like buying something. That was great. That was great. So as we wrap up, you've been very kind with your time, and I look forward to seeing you in New York, if not before somewhere. We'll probably run into each other somewhere else. I'm sure we will. But what is everybody's heard of the FAQ, the frequently asked question, but Wes loves this when he exposed it to me a while back. What's a should ask question? What is the one thing as you're going through your world of Cutco, your world of branding, that you just wish people would ask and just never ask? What's that important thing that you just wish people would ask that maybe don't get it, ought to ask? What should we be thinking besides all the great stuff you told us? What's the one thing that you just every day you go, man, I wish that guy had just asked this question?
I guess the biggest return on investment, or like, where should I allocate my advertising or marketing dollars where I could use your service that would be very strategic in my business? Because most of us just think of holidays. They think of Christmas for their employee, or Christmas or for their customer, like at the end of a project. Those are the two ones that people are already thinking. But like, how could I use this strategically throughout the calendar year to really wow and delight and surprise my staff or my clients? Because I'm a big promoter of not always just doing it at the times that people are expecting it. You want to wow people. So like, maybe on a random, let's say you have a bunch of ladies in your organization, and for Mother's Day, you could do a gift, or for Father's Day, you could give a gift to your employees. Doing it on different days that people wouldn't expect a gift. Or let's say, let's say it's a certain anniversary year of your company, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, where, people are just thinking, oh, we're going into another year, but why not use this as a really nice gift to give out to a group of individuals? So I would just say using it at different times, or like I shared with you, like if there is a merger, how could we give out a gift to like announce where people would actually read that letter or read that information about our company merging, where you could attach a gift to it, which is, it's more likely to get a response. But I've even had people use it as reviews. Like, if you want people to give a review, send them a gift at the end of a project, and then include like, hey, would you be so kind to go online and give us a review? We've had people get a lot more reviews when they send a gift with it, because people get something and they feel thankful, and then they're more likely to write you a positive review because they just got a gift at that same time. So
absolutely,
there are strategic ways to use it.
That's awesome. So
I guess that's the question.
That's a great one. That's spot on. And I love you said the wow factor, and that's what you're looking for. And I really like that idea of doing the unexpected. I like the idea. Everybody expects, not everybody, if you have a tendency in your business to give a Christmas gift to your employees, or to your top 50, whatever your program is. When you give it, then it's still nice. And it's a great gift to give, but I feel like maybe it doesn't have as much of a wow factor, because it's Christmas. They're probably giving me something because they always have, and it's still nice, right? It's still great to get. But if you're just all of a sudden hanging out one day and they knock on your office door and say, hey, Cave, man, just wanted to tell you thanks. You've been busting butt. You've been having a great year and just doing a lot of good stuff. I just wanted you to have this knife. I just thank you, right? That is a whole different wow factor, right? Then, hey, everybody line up now and come shake the president's hand. We're going to hand you a gift card and a butterball turkey, right? Nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking any of that. I'm just saying, let's think about what you're talking about. Is just elevate our game a little bit and think out of the box just a tiny bit. Or as I like to say, I don't even see cardboard anymore. It doesn't exist. See no box. Just start thinking, out there, what can I do to expose myself, not only to my customers and my people in my organization, but how can I use that and be remembered at the same time? And man, Cutco, you're just like, you're on the cutting edge or something. I just had to say it again. That was fun to say. Anything else, buddy, as we get out of here? Because I know you've been kind with your time, and I've got something coming up in about 10 minutes anyway. So anything as we wrap up, any parting words, my man?
Parting words would just be, I just ask that people are open or are willing to have a conversation at some point in time. Many people have no problem trying to wine and dine and throw like $200 on a bottle of whiskey or $300 on this crazy dinner. And I always tell people, you could have that same wow on a really expensive ice cream scoop or an expensive knife, where it's a lower price point, but it's even a bigger wow because you're not trying to compete with the dinners and you're not trying to compete with technology. But
Right.
I just ask that people stay open and they're willing to have a conversation.
I like that. And my parting word on your parting word. So no more parting words or we'll never get done. But is that, again, you're doing the unexpected. You're getting caught at doing something cool and different and good. And I think that's the key. Taking somebody to dinner and stuff and some nice wine is, hey, we all love to do that. But at the same token, I think at times we say, yeah, I'll go with you. You might rather had went to your daughter's softball game, but so I'll go with you. And you enjoy it. Nothing wrong with all that. But that's literally gone by tomorrow, right? Thank you. It was a great time. Enjoyed the time. But it starts the remembrance factor, if that's a word. You can use that. I'll bill you later. Is that it will? It starts dwindling pretty quickly, right? And that's what I love about this. So, anyways, my parting words, and I get to have the parting word because it's my show. Damn it, is that call Case. Get a hold of him. Shoot that QR code. Get a hold of him on his cell phone. Say the cell phone again. Let's just throw it out there. What's the phone number?
It is 814-439-0173.
Did you know that, or did you have to look it up?
Nope, that's my. I know.
That's fine. I thought that was Wes's, and you're just going to really create a problem. Because Wes will stab food off my plate with a knife. He's not getting a cut roast knife. Never. Wes can't have a cut roast knife. He probably already got one. Anyway, Case, I appreciate you being on, man. It's great to meet you last week, a couple weeks ago, whatever it's been, at the Roll Former show. We'll see you at some other ones. And as a friend of the show, you're always a friend. So if we can ever help you, just let us know, man.
For sure. Thank you so much, Randy.
I appreciate you. All right. Cheers, buddy. There you go. Cutting edge Case. I just got kind of fired up over this. I never thought I like Case, and I got to meet him, and I thought it'd be interesting. But this is way more interesting than I thought it would be, amazingly, because my original thought, being brutally honest, Case, don't take any offense, but we're going to talk about some knives, and that's cool, but I like the marketing and branding aspect of it. But that opened up a lot of ideas on the marketing and branding end that last forever. And I think it's really, really cool. So I hope that was interesting to you. Check out Case and let me know if you buy something from him. I'll tell him to hit me up for a glass of Dr. Pepper somewhere sometime because he's going to owe me. Anyways, that's it for now. Here I am again, another day. Wes and I doing what we love and loving what we do. Remember, you get one go around in life, so live it, love it, own it. And as always, make today your best day ever. Till tomorrow. Cheers, my friends.